dear students, welcome to the computer class of standard 10. Today we are going to begin our chapter number 14, loop control structure. So previously we have discussed about the jumping statement. So how we can move from the one part of a program to another part of a program. And today we are going to discuss about the loop control structure. So let's just begin our chapter. So students, first we will discuss that what is the use of loop in a program. So here in the program, so many times it is necessary or it is required to execute some block of statements multiple times. So here all this programming language offers loop control structure, that is also known as a looping, that allows the programmers to execute a statement or a group of statement multiple times in their program. So in this chapter we will discuss about the loop. Loop means repetitive control structure that is provided by the C programming language. So means in the simple way, if you want to execute one statement many times, then you can do it with the help of looping. So here repetition process can be done by the looping structure. Here control structure means what? The control structure means that the flow of execution may not be sequential here. So here also the flow of execution is not in the sequence, just like our jumping statement. And control may be transferred to any statement based on given conditions in our program. And that is why the chapter name is given as a loop control structure. So when the control structure term is coming, we have to remember that the flow of execution is not the sequential. So anytime the control can be transferred to any statement based on the requirement of our condition. In the looping, the sequences of statements are executed until some exit condition is satisfied. So till what time the repetition process will be there. So here we are defining the exit condition. So when this exit condition is satisfied, till that time the repetition will be there. But when the condition will become false, then the repetition process will be stopped there. So here the repetition is based on the condition that is specified by you. The looping construct is composed of two parts. Two parts are there in the looping construct, that is body of loop and control statement. And here depending on the place of a control statement in a loop, it can be classified as a entry controlled and exit control. So based on the control statement that will handle the execution of your program and the condition. So based on the condition, there are two types of classifications there of a loop. First is the entry control loop and next is a exit control loop. Now what is the difference between entry control and exit control? Practically we will see that one, all the looping structures we are going to see practically only. But theoretically I will explain you that the entry control loop, the condition will be checked first. So first it will check the condition and then after the loop body will be there. And in the exit control loop, the loop body will come first, and means the whatever statements are written in the loop body, that will be executed first and then after it will check the condition. So here in the entry control loop, first it will check the condition and then it will come to your loop body. So first it will check the control statement and then after loop body will come. In the exit control loop, first loop body will come and then after your control statement will come. So in the entry control loop, the exit or the control condition is checked before execution of the statement inside loop body. And in the exit control loop, the exit control condition is checked after the executions of loop body, that as I said. This means that in case of exit control loop, body will be executed at least once before exiting from the loop. This you have to remember, because even though the condition is true or false, that doesn't matter. One time the execution will be there because the condition is written after the executing statements. So first one time it will check the without checking the condition, it will print all the things that is written by you. Then after it will go to the control statement and then it will check the condition. Then after, if the condition will become true, then it will execute the loop body, otherwise the loop will be terminated, and then after nothing will be displayed there. Now there are basic 3 loop control structures are there in, and that we are going to discuss in this chapter. So first is a for loop, then after while loop and do while loop. So now we will discuss all these 3 types of loop with its syntax and with the example. So practically I am going to show you all the things. So let's just start it. So students, first here we are discussing that is the while loop. So when we are using the while loop, so the number of iteration means when we don't know that how many times we want to execute the statement block. At that time we will use the while loop. And second one aspect is that when we want to check the condition before entering the loop. So first we will check the condition, and if the condition will become true, then only we will go to the loop body and function statement block will be executed. So when you want to use the entry control loop, at that time we will choose the while loop. We have already discussed that 2 types of loops are there. First is the entry control, that will check the condition first and then after it will execute the statement block. And next type is the exit control loop. So that will check the condition, that will execute the statement first and then after it will check the condition. So here the while loop belongs to the entry control loop. So first we will see the syntax of a while loop. So first you have to use the while keyword, and in the function bracket you have to write the text expression, means the condition. If the condition will become true, then it will execute the statement block. And then after, the next statement will be the increment and decrement statement. So in any loop, 3 statements are required. First is the initialization. You have to initialize your variable that you are going to use in a loop. Then after, you have to check the condition. And third is the increment and decrement statement to proceed the iteration process. So now we will see the flow chart of a while loop. So here you can see first the entry will come to the text expression. If the text expression is true, then it will execute the statement block from the body of a loop. Then after, the increment and decrement statements will come, and again it will go to the text expression. So again it will check the condition and it will execute the statement block. This process will be continued till the text expression will not become false. When here the condition will become false, then after, your iteration process will be terminated, and whatever the next statement is written in your program, that statement will be executed. So this is the flow chart of our while loop. Now practically we will see one example of. So now we will open our Turbo C++ program. Now here you can see the new file has been opened. Here we are going to see to print the 1 to 10 numbers respectively. So without using 10 printf statement, with the one executable statement printf, we will print these 10 numbers respectively with the help of loop. So repetition of one statement will do the 10 times. So let's start the program here. First in the comment I am writing while loop program to display 1 to 10 number. Now first our program begins with the hash include header file stdio.h. Next, void main. Now we will begin our loop. So first is the variable declaration. So here I am using integer number variable. Now as I told you, the first step is known as the initialization. So whatever the variable we have taken here, that variable, to that variable we have to give the value. So that process is known as the initialization process. So here I will give the number is equals to 1 because I want to display the 1 to 10 numbers. So firstly I have stored the number 1 in the number variable. Now the next is we have to use the loop. So which loop we are discussing here? While loop. So first I am writing while, and as per the condition in the function bracket we have to write the condition. So here condition should become false when the number will reach to the greater than 10. So here based on that we have to write the condition. So here we are writing number less than or equals to 10. So here it will allow the process till the number is equals to 10. When it will reach the number is greater than 10, then this condition will become false. So if the condition will become true, here we will print the number. So printf statement we will use inside that printf. First we are using the /n. Printf, here we will type %d, comma, then after number, semicolon, and here we will use /n. Then after I told you next statement should be the increment or decrement statement. What will happen here? You just see. First the number is equals to 1. Now it will check the condition. So 1 is less than 10. Condition will become true. Then it will print the statement. So now this is one time only. So here we will use the increment and decrement operator, that is plus plus or minus minus. So now we want to increase the value. So number plus plus. So what will happen with the next statement? Number value will be incremented by 1. So now what is the number value? 2. So now it will go to the again to check the condition. So if 2 is less than 10, yes. So now it will execute the statement number here. That is, it will print the number 2. So till now the condition will, the iteration process will continue there, and then after at the last step it will check the condition, that is 10 less than or equals to 10. 10 is not less than, but it is the equals to 10. So that is why the lastly it will print the number 10. Now again number plus plus. So it will become 11. So 11 is less than 10. No, 11 is greater than 10. So here the condition will become false and it will terminate the loop. And then after it will execute the next statement. So like this iteration process will work. Now the next is, first we will save our program. Here our program is complete. So save it. While loop program is there, so we will give them name, that is while loop. .c, press enter. Now we will compile our program. So alter F9, that is 0 errors and 0 warnings. To see the output of the program, control F9. And here you can see that 1 to 10 numbers are printed over here. So this is our first program. And this is the entry control loop. Entry control while loop. So how it will work, that I already told you. So here you can see that number, when the number will become 11, the condition will become false and it will print the rest of the numbers to your output screen. So I hope you understood this while loop program. So students, now we are going to discuss about the do while loop. So as we have discussed, the while loop is the entry control loop, and first it will check the condition and then it will execute the loop body. But here in the do while loop. The same syntax is just almost similar, but here first it will execute your statement block. So first it will execute the body of loop, and after executing the body of loop it will check your condition. So first we will check the syntax over here. You can see the do while loop begins with the do keyword first. So instead of while, first you have to write the do, and then you have to open the curly brackets for your loop body, and whatever the statement you want to execute, you have to write it down here in the body of loop. Now you will close the body, and after closing body you will write the condition. You will check the condition. So while and text expression means the condition, and here the conditions you have to end with the semicolon, that you have to remember. So now the thing is that even though the condition is false, then also one time the statement block will be executed. So that you have to remember. So here see, you can see it's written body of loop will be executed at least once. So at least one time the output will come. Then after it will check the condition, and then if the condition is false, then the loop will not work. So this is the concept of a do while loop, and do while loop is known as a exit control loop. So this is only the loop that check the condition. Afterwards, the first it will execute the statement block, and then after it will check your condition. And now here we will see the flow chart of the do while loop. So first entry will come, and first it will execute the statement block from the body of loop. Then after it will check the condition. So if the text expression, if the condition will become true, then again it will go to the statement block. So like this, the statement block will be printed continuously in the iteration form. When the condition, the text expression will become false, then the loop will be terminated, and the next line that is written in your program, that will be executed first. Now we will see the program of a do while loop. Same program that we have created with the while loop, the same program we will create with the do while loop. Students, here looping process is the same only. Why we are using all these loops? To repeat the same statements again and again, and to reduce our program size. So here you have to just remember the syntax of all, and then which one is convenient for you for the repetition, that loop you can use. That is why we are discussing here the same program with the different types of loops. So you will understand that which one is easy for you to use. So now we will open our Turbo C program again, and we will check the next type of loop, that is the do while loop practically. So here you can see the first one program is already written there. So in the same program only I am changing some of the things. So you just see here, before in the while loop we have checked the condition. So that condition we have to remove from there. So from there you just remove this condition, and instead of that you just write do. Now where we will write the condition? So here after closing loop body we will write the condition there. So there you just keep while loop and write condition number less than or equals to 10, and here you have to end it with the semicolon. So same program is there, no need to do any other changes. Have you seen, students? This much only the change is there in the syntax of while and do while loop. So here we have written do, and while condition we have, closing condition we have written first. So after number 1, first it will come here in the statement body. So now I will show you that why here it's written that first it will execute the statement block, and even though the condition is false, then also the statement block will be executed at least one time. So here I am initializing my number with the 11. So here you just see the condition will become false only because 11 is not less than 10. So now we will see first what will be the output of this program. So you just go to the file and save this program, compile, no error, control. So now you just see 11 is printed over here. Though the condition was false, then also the one time output is coming. Now you just press enter key. 1 to 10 numbers are not coming, but instead what is coming? Only 11. So like this, one time, at least one time the output will come, whether the condition is true or false. If the condition will false, then one time output will come, and if the condition is true, then whatever the process you wants to display 1 to 10 number, that 1 to 10 numbers will be printed. So here this is the thing, when the condition is false, then one time output will be there. So now you just see the loop is terminated, and when this type of message is coming, you have to press enter. Now we will change the condition here. Again we will make the initialization as a 1. So first it will display the 1 number here, then after number plus plus, and then it will check the condition. So 1 is already printed there, now number is 2, and then it will check the condition. So here we are saving the file again, file and save, and directly control F9 to see the output. So here you can see that 1 to 10 numbers are printed respectively over here, and we haven't used the CLR SCR in our program. That is why the previous output 11 is also there. If you want to remove that, then you just use the CLR SCR after your variable declaration. CLR SCR function, clear screen function. Semicolon. Now with the F2 you save your file again and control F9. So here you can see that 11 is removed. The previous output has been removed with the CLR SCR, and 1 to 10 numbers are coming respectively. So I hope you understood the looping process of do while loop. So students, now we will discuss about our third type of loop, that is the for loop. So for loop is normally used when we want to execute the block of statement fixed number of times. Means we already knows that how many times we want to repeat the statements. So if I know the repetition process, that how many times I want to iterate the particular statement, at that time I will use the for loop. So to make the for loop more dynamic, we can use the exit condition inside the for loop. And let us try to understand the use of simple for loop with this statement by the example 14.1 to display the 5-star using simple for loop statement. So before that, first we will see the syntax of our for loop. What is the syntax? So here you just see this is the syntax of for loop. So first you have to begin the for loop with the for keyword. Then after in the bracket you have to write the expression 1. Then after semicolon. Expression 2. Then semicolon. And then expression 3. Now the question is, what is this expression 1, 2 and 3? What you have to write there, students? So you have already seen the two examples, that is while loop and do while loop. And in that I told you the initialization, the condition and increment and decrement. These three aspects must be provided, then only the loop will work. So here expression 1 means the initialization. Expression 2 means the condition. And expression 3 means increment and decrement. Now how this loop process will work? First it will check the condition over here. So that I will explain you with the example, or we will see the flow chart over here. How it will work. See, first it will execute the expression here, expression 1. So suppose you just see here I have written number is equals to 1. This is my initialization. Now it will check the expression 2. So condition. So if number is less than or equals to 5. So if 1 is less than 5, so it will execute the statement block. And then it will execute the expression 3 means the increment or decrement. So number plus plus, suppose here. So now the number is 2. So again it will check the condition, and then after it will execute the statement block. So like this it will work. When the condition will become false, it will come out from the loop. So now here we will discuss the example that is given in your textbook. So here you just see we have written the integer type of variable named as a count. So now here we are using for loop, and count is equals to 0. So we initialize the value with the 0. Now in the condition we return when the condition will become false, when the count variable value is the less than 5. Then if the count variable value becomes the greater than 5, then the condition will become false. And here we are incrementing the count value by 1 every time. So now you just see count value is 0, 0 less than 5, condition is true. So now it will print the star. So here you can see the 1 star is printed there. After printing the star, it will do the count plus plus. So first it will print the statement and then it will do the increment. So now count plus plus means before it was 0. Now we are adding 1. So what is the counter value now? 1. So 1 is less than 5. Yes, 1 is less than 5. Condition true. So again it will print the star. So second star will be printed there and again count plus plus. So now count value is 2. So 2 less than 5. Yes. So it will print the star there. Now again count plus plus. Count value is 3. So 3 is less than 5. Yes. So it will print the fourth one star. Now count plus plus. So now count value is 4. 4 is less than 5. Yes, true. So it will print the star here. Now count plus plus means count value is 5. So 5 is less than 5. No, 5 is not less than 5. Condition is false. So then it will not print any star and the loop will be terminated there. So this is the process of looping here. Now we will understand our example to print the series of 1 to 10 with our Turbo C software. So here you can see our previous program is already written there. So I am just here this content I will write in the comment section. I will keep this content into the comment section. So now here we will create our next program with the for loop. So first here what I have done, I have transferred these lines into the comment section. So this line will not be checked now. Whatever the new lines we will write, that only will be checked. So here variable declaration is there with the number. Now to print the data or to print the number series, we will use for loop. For loop is very easy, students, because all the things we are performing at the one location. The initialization, conditions, as well as increment and decrement. So number is equals to 1, semicolon. Don't forget to do the semicolon in between. Once the first expression is over by you, put the semicolon there. Now the condition. Number less than or equals to 10 and now last statement is the increment statement. So number plus plus. At the last statement, after last statement, semicolon will not come directly. Function will get, bracket will get over there. Now in the for loop, we will write it down our printf statement. Printf /n %d number. So now we will, our body of for loop will get over. Get.ch is already written by us. Program is already saved because in the same program only we have written the new content. So press one time F2, save your file again because we have made the changes there. And now control F9 to see the output. The iteration process I have explained in the previous program, same iteration process is there. First the number is equals to 1. Okay. So now it will check 1 is less than 10. Yes. So it will print the number 1 here. Then after it will do the iteration. Then after executing it will go to the third expression. Remember student, first expression 1, then expression 2, then after your statement block and then expression 3. This is the iteration process of a for loop that you have to remember. Now number plus plus means 2. Then it will go to check the condition again. Now 2 is less than 10. Yes. So again it will print the 2 here. Like this it will repeat the process 10 times. The last is the 10 number. So 10 is less than 10. 10 is not less than 10 but 10 is equals to 10. So it will print the lastly the number 10. Then again it will go to the loop and number plus plus. So now number will become 11. So it will again check the condition. 11 is less than or equals to 10. 11 is not less than or not equal to. 11 is greater than 10. So here the condition will become false and the loop will execute the next statement, that is get ch, and then you will see the output of your program. So let's see the output of our program. So you can see here that next the same output is coming by using this loop also. So it is very easy to use our for loop, because in the same location only we are writing the initialization, condition and increment and decrement. So here this is the program you can see of a while loop, and this is the program of do while loop, and this is the program of for loop. You just see the comparison, how many lines are here and how many lines are here. Very less lines we have here in our statement. If you want to see, I will remove this one comment so you can see over here. Till now we have used the while loop here, do while loop, and this is the for loop. How many lines are there in the for loop? 1, 2 and 2 lines only. So within the 4 or 5 lines your program will get over. So I hope you understood that for loop well. So students, in this chapter we have discussed about the 3 types of loop. So for loop, while and do while loop. To select the more appropriate loop for our program, we may use the following steps. So which loop is better for you or for your program? That you can decide with the help of the 3 steps that is given over here. So first, for a given problem, identify whether entry control or exit control loop is required. So which loop is required, that you have to decide first based on the program. If there is a need of entry control loop, then you can choose the while loop or for loop. And if there is a need of exit control loop, then you have to choose the next option, that is the do while loop, because the while and for is the entry control and only one loop is there, that is exit control, that is the do while loop. Now in every looping statement, when we are using any loops in our program, following these 3 important points are to be considered carefully to avoid the miscellaneous behavior for a loop. So here you have to consider all these 3 statements, and so many times we have said these 3 statements in our explanation. So first one is the initialization of the loop counter. So first you have to initialize the value to your variable. Next is to test the exit condition to come out from the loop. This is very important, students. If you are not specifying the exit condition carefully, then there is a chance that your loop will be transferred to the infinite loop. It will never come out, because when the looping process will stop, when the executing condition, then when the condition will become false, then only it will come out from the iteration process. Otherwise the loop will executing continue, and then like this it will become the infinite loop. So the exit condition must be given by you properly. Next is the increment and decrement statement. As we want to execute the loop, the incrementation and decrementation is very important. Then only the iteration process will go further. Otherwise, without these statements, iteration process will not go forward. So this is the incrementing and decrementing statement we have to decide that. Next question is coming, that's skipping a part of a loop. So during the execution of your program, sometimes if you want to skip some of the statements of the iteration, then you have to, C language provides the 2 statements for that, to skip the statements from the iteration process. First is the break statement and next is the continue statement. Now what is the difference between break and continue statement? Break statement will force the iteration to stop. So where the break statement will encountered in your program execution, the looping process will be stopped there. But in the continue statement, it will not like that. It will not stop the iteration process, but where the continue statement will encounter, if that condition is true, then it will skip that particular statement and rest of the statement will come from the loop programming. So like this, both the statements are working here and both the statement we will see practically. So what is the difference between them, that you can understand in a better way. So now we will open the Turbo C program to see both the things break and continue practically. So you just open that program. And here you can see that previous program that we have created to print the number of 1 to 10 with the help of our while loop is already written here. Now what I have done, in that condition, between I have checked for the new condition in our loop body, that if my number is greater than 5, then I want to execute break statement. So with that, what will happen? We are going to see that. So first you just go to the file and click on a save button and press Ctrl F9 to see the output. So here you just see, instead of 10 numbers, only 5 numbers came, 1 to 5. How that process worked here, that we will see. So after executing of break statement, your loop is terminated there and this output came. Only 1 to 5 numbers, not 1 to 10. So you just see here the condition becomes true. First we have initialized the number with the 1. Then after we are checking the condition, 1 is less than or equals to 10. Yes, 1 is less than 10. So it will print the number 1 here. Then after number plus plus, and then it will check the condition, that is 1 is greater than 5. So 1 is greater than 5. No, it is less than 5. So this condition is becoming false and then it will go to the here again to check the condition. So here it will check the condition, that is 2 is less than 10. So like this it will check the condition till the number 5. And till number 5 this process will be continued. Now after the number 5 the next number is coming, that is 6. So when here number is 6 come here, so this condition will become true because 6 is still less than 10. So now it will print the 6 number here. But and then after the number plus plus will come and here it will check the condition that 6 is greater than 5. Yes. So the loop process will be terminated there only and it will execute the break statement. So after 5 only this process will be here. So if the number will become 6 and 6 is greater than 5, that is why the loop break statement execute there and the process has been terminated there. Now students, we are again opening our Turbo C++ program to see the continue statement practically. So here you can see this is our previous statement execution of a break. Now here only minor changes we will do to understand the continue statement. What is the use of continue statement? The continue statement is used to skip particular statement from the between of your execution process, between your iteration. So I am changing my coding according to that. So first it is the same only, I want to print the till 1 to 10 numbers, but in between I want to skip the number 3. So I don't want number 3 should be printed there. So what I will do first, here when we are checking the condition, here initialization is there, here the condition first number less than or equals to 10. Now instead of if here number greater than 5, I have to write that when number will become 3. So number equal 3, it should execute the statement here continue. And here this printf statement I will print at the last. So when the increment will happen, first it will check my if condition. So if the if condition will become true, then it will execute my continue statement, and if this will become false, then it will print my number. So here I am erasing this statement printf, and that printf statement I will write after my continue. So here printf /n %d, comma number. So now we will check that whether these things are working or not. What will happen now, you just see. First, the initialization is that number is equals to 1. Now it will check the condition. 1 is less than or equals to 10. Yes, condition is true. Now the increment will happen here, that is number plus plus. And now it will check the condition. So this number is less than 3. So equal 3? No. This one is equal 3? No. So now the continuous statement will not work and it will print the number 1. Then after it will check the number 2. So number 2 is equal 3? No. So continue will not print and then the number will print there 2. Now again number plus plus. So now the number will become 3. So 3 is equal 3? Yes. The condition will become true. So now it will execute the continuous statement. So when it is executing the continuous statement, this statement, whatever is written after that, that will not execute it for a one time only. So it will skip this printf statement and directly it will go to the number plus plus. Now it will check the 4 equals 3. The condition is false. Then it will check the next process. So number 4 will be printed over here, but number 3 will not come, because the continuous statement is written there and this condition will become true and then it will execute the continuous statement. So now we will see the output, that this type of output is coming or not. So here some mistake we did to write it down the /n. So /n we have to do this sign, the backward slash. So now we will go to the file and save again and see the output again. So here you can see that it is skipped there 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It's coming here. So I hope you understood this continue statement over here. To jump or to skip some of the part from your iteration process. Two statements we have used, that is the continue statement and break statement. So here we are going to conclude our chapter number 14 practically. So first we will go out from this window. And the next we will see the next concept is of a infinite loop. When the loop will become infinite loop. So here you just see, when we are not providing any initialization conditions and increment and decrement in your program, then the loop will never get end. Ending process is not there. There is no initialization. Nothing is there. Then whatever is written in this loop, that will go infinite. That will print continuously over there. So like this, the loop will become infinite loop when we are not specifying anything over here. And here our chapter number 14 is completed. So I hope you understood all the three types of loop and the continue and break statement. Thank you, students.